We have some warded locks here. I got these warded master locks from the wild, and they look pretty cool. Got some warded picks here, 32 thousandths thick covered instruments. This is wide, a little bit less wide. This is for little locks, a little bit bigger. Over here we got the rest of the covered instruments, warded picks. So L, two different types of nodules that are not as wide, two nodules a little bit wider. So there's 5 picks total, as you can see here, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are some bypass picks from covered instrument, a couple different tools and sets, kind of combine them all together in one thing for a whole bypass kit, which is fantastic. These have helped me get into a lot of different stuff. So let's go ahead and start with this master lock. First step, what you want to do for warded locks, pull tension on the shackle. Sometimes you can get away with just putting the pick all the way in and then slowly spinning it. And the pick itself, with its profile, as you're pulling back out, it'll hit the levers and you'll get an unlock. A lot of times the pick profile is not good enough for doing that, and so you're going to insert the pick all the way in. What I like to do is start at the bottom and then pull the pick towards yourself to scrub to find the lever. And then once you find the lever, the shackle will slowly open. You'll feel it and you're like, okay, we're getting somewhere. Then what I'll do is I'll move the pick all the way back to the top in the keyway and slowly start to scrub towards me, right? You'll hopefully hit the other lever, get more shackle open, and then sometimes, after that, maybe you can do another spin, or even as you're putting the pick in, you can do maybe like a back and forth motion. So it's kind of similar to raking. There's kind of the two different ways that work for me for picking, is going in, spinning, slowly pulling out, putting the pick in, scrubbing one way, putting the pick all the way in, scrubbing the top one way, and then maybe going back to the bottom, scrubbing left and right, pulling out, go to the top, scrubbing left and right, pulling out. So those are kind of some different ways. To me, it feels very similar to raking locks. So I personally just like to start with the scrubbing bottom, and then go into the top and scrubbing first, and then kind of doing some rotations in there as well. It's kind of my favorite techniques. But as I'm going in all the way to the bottom and scrubbing, I did get the shackle to open just a little bit. I felt it, kind of hard to see on camera. And then so what I'm doing is got that shackle to move, slowly going to start scrubbing, pulling back on the bottom of the keyway. Okay, it's all the way back. Now we're moving towards the middle and the bottom of the keyway. Something there catching. What is that? Ooh, there we go. So I was able to bottom left as I was scrubbing, and then I moved towards the center. There was another lever right there. Boom, that was enough. I didn't have to go to the top and scrub. So one down. Next, we got this little tiny master. So this is a little bit too wide, so we're going to move to the narrow width warded pick. Again, tension on the shackle. I like to go in and start at the bottom. Okay, now we're going to move to the top and scrub. I didn't feel anything really on the bottom. Okay, possibly something there. Nope. Okay, I'm going back to the bottom to scrub. Slowly going to pull out. Okay. Scrub, 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 scrub. Okay, now we're going to go back to the top. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Nothing there. Man, this little knobby's hurt my finger, so I'm not going to be able to put tension on shackle. Going back to the bottom, slowly pulling out. Nothing there. Now we're going to move the pick back over to the top, scrub the top. Ooh, what is that? A little something there. Let's do a spin. Ooh, can't spin. Maybe a little back and forth, back and forth. There we go. Where is that? That's at. So it's a straight in the middle and a twist. That's what got that. So straight down the middle and a twist. So kind of have to play with different angles, the center, scrubbing all the way back to the center, maybe a twist and pull, start at the bottom, scrub the bottom, pull back out, start at the top, pull the top, start at the top left, scrub, pull out, center, twist, and you kind of got to try different angles and positions to really get it to go. So we're moving back because it's a larger lock. It's got a bigger keyway, the more wider pick profile. So I'm just going to start with a twist all the way down the middle, slowly pulling out. Okay, I did feel a little bit of movement when I was kind of towards the rear and twisting. So now I'm going to start the bottom left and scrub. See if I can get anything there. Ooh, got something in the middle. There we go. So for me, bottom left, scrub, 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 scrub. We caught onto something at the bottom left first, got a little shackle movement to the left. Then as I was scrub, 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 got to the middle, scrubbed the lever there, boom, it finally opened. There we go, hopefully that helps.